You okay? You need a minute? Cool. Okay. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you'd kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? You're headed for a climate disaster, and yet every year governments spend hundreds of billions of public funds on fossil fuel subsidies. Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You've got a huge opportunity right now. As you rebuild your economies and bounce back from this pandemic, this is humanity's big chance. So here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes. Thank you.
Studies show that by 2025, more than half the world's population will live in megacities of 10 million people or more. Can we design cities that allow us to protect wildlife and natural resources, limiting impact on ages-old ecosystems, while also preserving our historical heritage? So we hope that we can gain from lessons learned elsewhere while sharing our own knowledge as we all together manage this new great era of human development.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadia Verji. I'm the Chief of Staff at Expo and responsible for the Program for People and Planet. It is my distinct honor to open today's event, the Best Practice in Urban and Rural Development, the Aga Khan Historic Cities Program. The Aga Khan Development Network, and in particular the work of the Aga Khan Trust for Culture, is an established global best practitioner in the rehabilitation and revitalization, physical, social, economic, and cultural, of communities in the developing world. Improving lives of the inhabitants of these areas, the Historic Cities Program promotes sustainable development models that have proven to deliver positive impact beyond conservation, to include the promotion of good governance, the growth of civil society, a rise in income, and above all, the promotion of human dignity in the service of communities. It is in this spirit that Dubai and the UAE have built a long-standing relationship with AKDN, both here and abroad. And it is in this spirit that we extend our deepest thanks to AKDN, as well as Siemens and UN Habitat, for their partnership in our Urban and Rural Development Week, where we pose the question of how do we live and grow as a global community in harmony with our planet. Please welcome to the stage Tausif Ahmad, CEO of the Aga Khan Cultural Service in Pakistan, and Kamran Lashari, Director of the Walled City of Lahore Authority, for their opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to talk to you. Today, we want to focus on a particular intervention in specific and then some general work, general things that we have done. If we say historic cities program, it's a program that started since 1992 by Aga Khan Development Network and through Aga Khan Trust for Culture. And it has done work in 7-8 countries, and including Pakistan and many other neighboring countries. We'll see more in coming slides. For this best practice in urban and rural development, for urban part, we have chosen Lahore, because we believe that Lahore is a city which has history comparable to maybe Cairo, maybe any other Muslim world city we take. The civilization and history can match it. So Lahore was chosen as a target city, and some work has been done, and something is continuing, and much more to come in the years to come. And if we go to working, as it has been so many times said, so it will be just a repetition, but I would like to say that when we talk about restoration and preservation, the monument, the space is not the target. The building is not the objective, but the people and the community around. What happens to community, that matters, that's the objective. Making a nice building is not the target. And when we say community, it means we are talking about their cultural development, their social development, economic development, and everything. The partnership, it's a good story, and you will like to hear it in few minutes. The partnership started Punjab government and Aga Khan Trust for Culture through Government of Punjab, through Walled City Lahore Authority, WCLA. And when we come to Lahore, it's called Cultural Capital of Pakistan. The picture will tell you, you talk about food, you talk about architecture, you talk about people, you talk about whatever cultural aspect you take. Lahore has a distinction in that. Lahore has a uniqueness in that. And when we go, this map I wanted to show, this very interesting map. If we see this borderline, this is the ring road around the Lahore. This is the whole city of Lahore. And if you could see a brown patch inside, sorry. This brown patch is the walled city. It's 2 square kilometers, very small. And if we look at the Lahore, we can see these railway tracks, and then we can see this, if this pointer is working right, we could see something, a crossing of from right to left, on the right to left, on the upper part. This is actually the canal of the Lahore Canal. And generally it is said that Lahore Canal is a divide between the social strata of the city. You know, anything up is lower strata, down, you go further down and down into the east, you come across the higher strata of the society. And that's how it looks like from a drone. We can see fort, we can see the households, we can see the mosque. And now once you are in the walled city, I'll take you to the person who actually was on this program from day 0 and is still there. We are very lucky he's still there. And I think he'll drive you through the city, what has been done, how it has been done. So over to Mr. Lashari, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tausif. Audible? This Begum Sahaba sitting here, so thank you for honoring us. And coming to the Walled City Lahore, as you can see, this is one of the oldest living museum, we call it, and it abounds in 13 gates. 6 of them still exist, while others have vanished, but the points of entry are still there. So this is a tale of partnership between the Aga Khan Trust and the Walled City Lahore Authority, how a government agency versus NGO of international standing, if they join hands, if they work together, what value addition, what magic or difference they can make together. So, is this moving? Okay, so here we are, that this is the night view of our cultural complex. You can see the Minare Pakistan in its backdrop, and then all the big monuments, including the fort, which is the World Heritage Site. And it's not only the monuments and architectural beauty which counts when it comes to Walled City of Lahore. It's basically, it's street life, it's natural, organic life, which is buzzing, which is vibrant, colorful, and attracts people so much. So this is reflected in many places. This is the famous food street of the Fort Road, where people sit on the rooftop and they enjoy the backdrop of lit up entire complex. I remember when President Musharraf had visited the Cuckoo's restaurant, which is on top of this, and I came across him and he said, Lashari, I went to your Cuckoo's restaurant. I said, mine restaurant? Okay, thank you very much. How did you like it? He said, you know, I've been to almost virtually the whole world, but the night view that I see are sitting on the top and the lit up surroundings is something which I haven't seen anywhere in the world. And so Advani also, when he came and sat there on the top, I'm told, he said, now I understand why they say Lahore is Lahore. So now, these are some of the scenes of our street life. And this area has now all been cleaned up and rehabilitated. For instance, this is the entry to the Delhi gate. So our projects have started from the Delhi gate, and we take a cluster of mahallas or inhabited places, and so we have done package 1 and 2, and now these days we're doing package 4. And what do we do with these localities is that there are 2 things. One is the infrastructure that is all given new look, which means bringing down the dangling wires, taking them underground, which is the most onerous thing. It hasn't happened at even some of our posh areas like Mall Road, but here in the Walled City, every gully and mohalla of our project area has cleaned up its act, and then the new sewerage, new water connections, new drainage, et cetera, this all. Now, this is the look of how it was, this neighborhood, when the project was taken up by the Aga Khan Trust and the Walled City together. So, and this is the look now. So you can see the dramatic change, and not only in the facades of the buildings, but also inside, the interiors also in certain cases. And these pipes, etc., previously there used to be open drains, and now it's a place where people come for visit. Despite these being very narrow streets, but they present a spectacular architectural view. And so there's a lot of life also created there by encouraging the local craftsmen, the musicians, etc. On the left, you see this is called the Royal Trail. When you enter the Delhi gate, this is how the Mughals would come in procession from Delhi and go through this Royal Trail up to the fort. So this is how it used to look like. But with the intervention of this partnership, this is the look on the other side that you see. Similarly, you can notice the change of before and after. And one of our most signature project that has come out is the Shahi Hamam, perhaps the only surviving royal bath in the entire subcontinent. So as you enter Delhi Darwaza, this place was all entangled and marred by encroachments. But when we took it up as a project, then it has produced spectacular results. The famous William Dalrymple, the writer, he had made a Twitter saying that this is the best restoration project that he has seen in the entire South Asia. Then this has also earned the UNESCO award. And this is, on the left is how the historic walls were screened and encroached by shops. So all these were removed, they were paid off, and now the place has been secured, and that's how it looks like. Then inside, a wonderful intervention has been made by the Aga Khan Trust, that is through these ramps, saving the entire area. The other most significant project is the Wazir Khan Mosque. Wazir Khan is rated architecturally, ornamentally, as one of the prized Islamic architecture anywhere in the world. But it also had fallen upon bad days, bad times, in the sense that its facade was blocked by a series of about 60, 70 shops. And the chalk itself, the square, was in a total mess with all kinds of encroachments and sprawling of fakirs and redis and rickshaws, etc. So now we have still to do the inside work that is continuing, but the outside has created a great change and dramatic change. On the left, you can see how it was, how it used to look like. These are series of shops. The photo won't give you the exact angle, but while approaching this mosque and its main gate was virtually an embarrassment. But today, you see this has become like an oasis. It's amidst a very congested place, and yet this is now a community space which is now secured, and you can get down only through the stairs. So even if somebody wants to take his ready or cart inside, he cannot. And the stage that you see down below is meant for community programs in the backdrop of those beautiful minarets. So we have great evenings for the community, and this is a place which is in such a rushy, busy, noisy area, but such an soft, serene, and secured place that it is. This is how it used to be. Can you believe this? That the entry of this mosque was half buried. This hujras that you see were half of them showing, half of them buried, and the rest were used by welders. So all of these were removed, and the flooring taken down to its original level, that is 10 feet below, and that created its dramatic effects. So this is how it is now. And this is how it used to be, and this is how it is now. And similarly, this extends further up, and the entire boundary, which is pretty extensive, has been treated. And these houses in the backdrop, you will see a dramatic change because they were also taken up for rehabilitation. And now the effects are like this. So there is a lot of intricate work and skill which is involved, and with time, due to international practices of the Aga Khan Trust, a lot of local artisans have also gained the new techniques as well. So this is the place that I'm talking about, and this is how it is used in the evenings. They could never imagine 5 years ago that even 4 people could sit out there, and today 300 people. We have got our own folding chairs. They come out, and the community, women, men, and children, they all come out and have a roaring time. So Sufi music or Dastan Goi or many other programs are held very regularly over there. Coming to the Lahore Fort, we can say that both in terms of quantity of projects and quality, probably this may not have happened, what has happened in the recent years in partnership with the Aga Khan Trust and Walled City Lahore Authority. You know, Lahore Fort is on the heritage list of the world. It is a monument with 27 monuments. So we have taken up quite a few, and these days, by the way, the latest is our partnership signed for the mosque also, the big mosque, which the Prime Minister has given directions that we should go for its conservation also as a team. And inside the Lahore Fort, very few people know that it represents different cultures, civilizations, and religions. It's not only the Mughal footprint, but also there's this Hindu temple, which is the Loh temple, from where we derive the name Lahore. This is one of the oldest monument there. And then there is Gurdwara, there are Christian paintings, and of course Ranjit Singh's, and 6 times a lot of footprint there. So this is the famous pavilion flank between the fort and the masjid. And this pavilion is called the Hazuri Bar, and that's where Ranjit Singh used to hold his court. And this is where we hold the state dinners also. When it is lit up in the evenings, this entire place looks beautiful. The white combination of these domes that you see beside the mosque, that's the Sikh temple and Gurdwara both. So we are proud to say that different religions live, abound, and are preserved alongside. And this is the inner portions, and this is the Sheesh Mahal that you see, and some of the Jahangiri quadrangle. So this is just a map which shows you from Akbar quadrangle. You know, Akbar is the one who actually started the project of, I'm saying project because I'm used to say that so much. Akbar started the Lahore Fort. And it was from there that in time, to time, then followed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan, this started coming more and more from the east to the western side. And so all of them together, along with the Sikhs, added so much to the fort. And so here is AKTC's involvement in the fort in 2015 came very emphatically and started with the picture wall. The head of the heritage of the AKDN, I see him sitting here. So Louis Monreal has joined us. Way back in 2015, he said to me in Paris that I would love to do the whole fort, but that's too far-fetched a thing. let's start with the picture wall. I've taken fancy to your picture wall, and it's the longest mosaic wall, the most prized wall in the world. And so he said, but I'm doing it only if you promise me one thing. Are you there, Mr. Lashari, for 5 years? You know, I rolled it in my mind and I said, my governments don't get 5 years in Pakistan, but okay. I showed a lot of confidence and I said, oh, yes, I should be there for 5 years. And I've kept my promise. I'm there for now more than 5 years, almost 8 years. And our relationship is growing and strengthening every day. So this is how this particular wall is. You can see the exterior of walls, perhaps nowhere in the world may have this kind of intricate embellishment and mosaic work and depiction of royal images like this fort has. And so there are different kind of work like fresco, mosaic, and marble jali, terracotta jali, filigree, and so on and so forth. So all these were taken into account and done with the best international method and practices adopted by the Aga Khan Trust and involving even international conferences and experts. And so it's taken a long time. It's been 6 years working on this wall. Almost half of it is now completed, and the rest is to be completed in a couple of years. Another thing that we faced at the Lahore Fort was the ponding of the water. Somehow, the British who took over, when they took over the fort, they used it as a garrison. And they misdirected the entire water system, hydraulic system, which was the Mughals were expert in. So they diverted the original plans, and this caused a lot of dampness and seepage and problems to our fort at different points, which now has been dealt with. And even this conservation is not just the facade and its embellishment. It's basically a lot of work has gone into its consolidation, in dealing with its water issues. So behind the scenes is much more important than what you just see. And so this is the next phase which will be completed. And we're going to talk about the royal kitchens also as a project. Now this is how it has shaped up. We'll be showing you some slides of the, now this is the deteriorated, dilapidated, decayed condition. And once it was properly done with so much of care and detailing, now you can see the middle picture, which shows that it has come out very strong. This may be the best picture to show the difference. And we had the pleasure of having the Prime Minister come and do its inauguration. So not only the picture wall, but its lower level also. This greenery didn't used to be there. It was one pakka farsh, was a flooring, and for myself at least, I can say I never realized that there would be something underneath. And but our experts have dug it out and excavated and brought it to the right levels, have been now brought out. And these are the panels which show how the work has. Now coming to one another feature in the Lahore Fort, that is the royal kitchens. We had lost on those, you know. I didn't even know about it. I had never heard about it. And one day we just stumbled upon it in one of our inspection and realized that what a beautiful setting it has. But it was filled with wild growth and snakes and reptiles over there. And the last time it was used was for incarceration cell. Well, people like Salman Taseer were there, But for the last 40 years or so, it was a no-go area, and nobody even spoke about it. Now, this is how we, as partners, have been able to achieve and bring it back to life. And when we do monuments, it's not only, as Tausif also mentioned, it's not only the building that is revived, it is the life which is revived. It is the people who are connected with the buildings. That is a different kind of challenge, and we have met with that quite effectively. So these are some of, here is the Prime Minister's visit for the inauguration. Now, for the evenings, again, this place which otherwise represents like a ruin, and it's cut off from the main flow of the traffic to the Lahore Fort. So we create methods and ways how people should visit it and enjoy the great ambience. So we have these kind of events, and we have also come out with the history by night. For the first time in the entire 350 years of history, I would say that the entire complex of Fort and Hazuri Bar, etc., have been permanently lit up, not only for a state visit, but for the people. And every weekend we have History by Night tour, which is conducted by Aisha, sitting right here. And it's become very popular. It's there for the last 3 to 4 years, and people buy their ticket and come and enjoy the conducted tour. So these are the different monuments within the big monument, and most of them have been dealt with. Most of them either been completed. We do not have time or don't want to strain you too much, but now the other is this big gate. Apart from the wall, the Shah Burj gate had been taken up by the Aga Khan Trust in a very, let's say, serious manner, and has produced spectacular results. So this is, again, before and after. So Wajahat, the man behind the show, is also sitting here, he and his team. And it's always a teamwork. This is Makadana, we call it? Makadnas. Sorry, I'm just a generalist. So Makadnas, that is how they have been able to restore it and to an excellent quality. These days we have taken up the Sheesh Mahal, which deserve the restoration or conservation. But when you visit the Pavilion of Pakistan, which I must compliment the ambassador sitting here, he's the one who put the things together, because working in new land is not easy, and in this setting. But these are the images which have been taken and shown over there. So Noorjan Bilgarami was facilitated by us, and we are very proud that she's done a great job. And these wonderful elements have been so very well mirrored over here. So this is the work going on. And if you can see the rooftops, which normally we don't even realize or understand, are the ones who are hit the worst. And these have been also conserved and treated properly. Similarly, the basements and different areas, you may be familiar with this Naulakha Pavilion, but only inside of it was showing, because the other the side, which is the exterior side toward the wall, the picture wall, had been blown off, blasted during the Sikh internecine wars. And now I must compliment that how this has been brought back with the team of Aga Khan Trust over there. And this is all the hard work, the intricate work, which has, now this is the exterior, which was missing. This canopy that you see, the white marbled, from the outside, was not there for the last more than 100 years. But the inner portion was there, so it helped the experts to have a design or evidence, and so with a lot of hard work, it has been brought back after 150 years or whatever. So upcoming projects, a number of those. One is, I don't know if people know it, but there is a complete basement under the Lahore Fort. So this is also called the Summer Palace, and the royal family would move under to the basements with Ravi River flowing by, and would enjoy the cool atmosphere over there. So this is now being taken up, and Badshai Mosque, as I mentioned, is our newest of the project. And this is how 5 million people come to the Lahore Fort every year, and despite the COVID, but hopefully this will keep increasing with our care and projects that we are showing. So again, we believe in supplementing it with activity and cultural shows and depictions. It may be History by Night tour that I just spoke about, or Zeba Nisar's performances. And this is the Kotwal, the superintendent of police of the British times, which has come, we have designed that, and he is now part of the tour. And the newest addition is the Craft Ghar, under the canopy, under the dome of the Delhi Gate, a designed, customized craft and souvenir shop has come out, which has been received very well by the people. Here is now changing the scene from the mohallas of Lahore to the open natural landscape and beauty of the haven of tourism in Pakistan, that is Gilgit-Baltistan. And we see here the Highness Aga Khan himself over there, and the projects that I have seen there as a tourist or a citizen, I tell you they are a big-time model for everybody to see that how communities can be trained and can become part of your dream. So I probably would like Tausif Sahab to give us more details on this.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah. Before I go into the rural context, I will request Wajahat Ali to please stand up. He's the head of the project team in Lahore Fort, and most of the things that you have done has been done by him. I will request him to stand up, please. Thank you. The rural context, Gilgit-Baltistan, those who are from Pakistan, they are very well known to it, and those who are not, they might be knowing it as the northern areas of Pakistan, touristic place, famous place, having glaciers and mountains and peaks and rivers and everything, very famous. But it is a difficult area. It's a tough terrain, very, very rich culture, but nothing in favor of are in support of supporting that culture or growing it or developing it. So the task was huge for Aga Khan Trust for Culture. It started its interventions in 1991, and first project that was completed was 1996. That was the Baltit Fort. And the last project, a major project that was completed, was in 2011. That was Haplo. So it's 15 to 20 years of journey. 4 major interventions. $26 million were spent by Aga Khan Trust for Culture by themselves or through the diplomatic partners. and 12 UNESCO awards in between came. Women social enterprises were created, and traditional skills were revived. And the way the people do the local construction, that was changed. And now you will see it in the pictures, how it actually, we see this Baltic Fort, 700 years old. It was completed in 1996. I will read it. The guiding principle behind this program was to improve the quality of life of local communities through investment in their cultural heritage and through rehabilitation of architecturally significant structures. His Highness guidance. That's the Shigar Fort in Shigar, Skardu. Museum inside and facades. This fort is being used as hotel and run by Serena. So a good example of adaptive reuse. People have got jobs. Local people have got jobs over there. The building has got a support system for maintaining it, for running it, and for keeping it alive and in good shape. Similar, Altit Fort. That's the Haplo Palace, and this is how it was at the time when it was taken over. This was completed in 2011, UNESCO award inside. It is also being run as a hotel. This year, from April till 8 November, both Haplo Palace and Shigar are fully booked, fully paid. That's a mosque in Skardu. And as I said before, with the communities, these are communities around it, and I would like to a little bit give into some insight that whatever is earning from these forts, 30% share goes to community, 60% share goes to a reserve fund for the building, and 10% is for the operational use. This 30% which goes to community is not the hard cash transfer. Community prepares every year projects which are sent to Aga Khan Cultural Service. We review and approve, and then we release the money in the form of in tranches, so that it's transparent and it's spent rightly. I can give you an example of the list for this year's project, 2022, what they have given. They are building a multi-purpose hall in Skardu, in Shigar village, which will be used as the examination hall for the school, and which will be used as a community center for the village. And this school is from 6th to 10th. This was built with the donation of our Italian colleagues, Italian diplomatic mission. Now, with this earning, they want to themselves make a primary branch. So they are buying land with this project, this money. They are buying the land for a resource center in Skardu. So this is how whatever is being earned goes back to them. And 60% is kept as a reserve, yeah. And Serena runs the project only 1% revenue. We can see that's the Ganesh, that's the settlement. That's Altit. This community area, for the dance. Now, the impact, if we see this lot of here, but we know pluralism, we know we talk about it every day. And I can tell that AKTC is a non-denominational organization. Area people say the area of Skardu is a Shia-dominated area. Okay, this is a non-denominational organization, and the beneficiaries is everybody, whoever travels from Pakistan. So it doesn't count for any differences. The benefits go to everybody. Then, as I said, this 30% goes to community, and there is obviously where there is an inflow of tourists. On top of that, as I said, I'll show you pictures. that how people, local people, they are now moving back to vernacular architecture. And if you'll see the common buildings, there are projects done by community only with our technical assistance, which have won UNESCO awards, just by people on their own. This Greenwood has been encouraged by our organization for people because it's a good source of income for them, abundantly available, and it's environmentally friendly. This project on my left that was done by people, and these two are non-AKTC works, but in the vernacular architecture. This is a music school, Life Larson Music School at Altit. This is built by us. These traditional indigenous techniques, which were actually dying, those have been revived, we could see. There is a women enterprise in Altit, and within Altit, as I show you, in the middle is the music school. There's a training for the young, very young musicians, who are the school-going kids who are interested in the music lessons, the traditional music in this school. We could see this cafe. This is set up by women and run by women in Altit Fort. This is what I had said to you in the beginning, to the 12 UNESCO awards and $26 million total investment. And 170 women trained in surveying, carpentry, and tourism. These are normally the non-traditional carpentry and construction. These are non-traditional occupations for women, but this has been done. And how we could conclude that what could be the impact of all this on the communities, but saying it together, knowing that's on the rural part and urban we have just seen, and Mr. Lashari has seen both of these works. I would like to give one last concluding word on this, please.
Hello. So if you can go back to that picture. Thank you for your patience, but I'll leave the audience with two lessons that I personally have learned and want to pass them on. One is the value of partnership. As a government servant, I hold no degree to any specialty. And sometimes when I look at myself, I realize that as government servants, we need to have only one specialty. And that ability is the ability to work with men of ability. So I'm very proud that I've worked with men of ability in the form and shape of the Aga Khan Trust for Culture. This doesn't happen easy. Otherwise, all government departments can find partners like AKDN. It doesn't happen. They have worked it only in Gilgit-Baltistan, which is their own area in many ways. And the only area other than that is Lahore, and that is the Walled City Lahore Authority. So we are very proud of this partnership, and it's one of the most win-wins thing that has come out. And the greatest reward is in the shape of not only the buildings of our country and regions that we have been able to restore and revive, but it's in the form and shape of the people who have started looking beautiful. Look out there, how they are sitting. I can talk about, these gully and mohallas. The same people have started looking beautiful. It's the environment, it's the setting which make the people ugly or beautiful. And thank you, AKDN, for making them beautiful, and we all are so happy about it. Thank you. So if there are any questions, we are open to it and welcome that, or if this is all beyond question, then I mean, it's just, yes.
Hi, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. My question is, so you've showcased a lot of government NGO partnerships, but for AKDN, how else do you select your sites for restoration and conservation? Do entities approach you? Do you run grant programs? Do you hand select projects that are in need of repair? What's the sort of dynamic there?
This is actually a magic question, to be honest. I think we have seniors here. If maybe Louis Monreal, our boss, chief boss, if he likes to answer on this.
Hello, good evening. I thought I came here as an audience, not to do any work. Thank you very much, Tausif. You are very kind. No, your question could be applied to many places. How you establish criteria to establish an order of priorities, what to restore. The needs are immense in many countries. When you look, for example, as Mr. Lashari was saying at the beginning, when we enter jointly with the Walled City Authority into the conservation of that urban fabric, it will be very difficult to say what is the choice. But the first choice is everything that has to do with infrastructure and immediate improvement of quality of life. And then the selection of monuments comes later. What is very important is to start by creating public spaces where the people of different ethnic groups, faiths perhaps, could get together. And AKTC alone could not do that. When you talk about infrastructure, you talk about the duty of a public authority, not of a private entity. So as Kamran Lashari said, this is a matter of a very well understood partnership in which one of the partners can do some things. In my country, it said that the policemen only go two, never only one. You know why? Because one knows how to write and the other needs how to read. But the choice at the end also is made by the resources available. You need to be flexible. We bring into this picture funds from other partners, either public, could be governments, or private, could be foundations. Some of these partners may have preferences. If these preferences could be accommodated on a master plan, then we are happy to deal with that. Let me tell you something. One source of financing are the embassies in the different countries. All the ambassadors of developed countries have something called, the name may change, the Ambassadors Fund. The Ambassadors Fund is a kitty, which of different size, volume, financial volume. And you could always convince the embassy people, the ambassador, or the ambassador's wife in most cases, because the ambassador is always very busy, and it's normally the ambassador's wife that is able to see monuments in areas where we are working. And then you can get grants. When you get these grants, and again I repeat, could be inserted, accommodated, they fit into a master planning, then this is also a consideration. So it's a matter also of opportunity. But the first and most important criteria to choose a building is sense of urgency and the sense of social benefit.
Thank you very much. I don't have a question, just a word of deepest gratitude to Aga Khan Foundation as well as Mr. Lashari, Mr. Tausif for being here in support of everyone. So I really appreciate the idea with which they have come to support communities. And that is the spirit with which I have come all the way from Abu Dhabi here. And seeing is believing, and being Ambassador of Pakistan, I request and I appeal everyone to see the beauty of Pakistan So the beginning is right here. The pavilion, Pakistan Pavilion, is only about, I think, 300 meters from here. So this evening you are welcome there to see about half of it you have seen there. And from there you can pick and come as a tourist, come as our guests, and we would be very happy to receive you in Lahore, in northern areas, and everywhere else. So I thank you, sir, once again. I know Mr. Lashari since 1994, and he's as energetic now as he was in 1994. So a wonderful person. I thank you very much.
My team is saying, ask us how energetic you guys are. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.